Firstly, I would like to tell you that positive psychology helps you to be aware of your current internal condition. And this is very important because many of us go through life and be busy, so much so that we are not aware what we are facing. And sometimes we may be aware that something is wrong, but we cannot pinpoint to exactly what is happening. So positive psychology is a science that helps you to do just that. So when you are aware of your current internal condition, this will set up a baseline for actually understanding where you stand in any area of your life. Let's try this example. Think of an area in your life that you would like to explore more or improve along the way. Then chart your perceived current condition on a scale of -10 to +10. Well, my example is I would like to think of my emotional management scale. So in terms of managing emotions, where would I place my skill at right now? So let's say, for example, I think my skill right now is at +2. For me, I perceive myself as +2 because I think I'm generally calm in daily situations, but can be easily angered when things are different from my expectations. So if I'm already planning to do something and I'm on it already and suddenly my plans have to change, I get agitated easily. And when that happens, sometimes I feel that I'm out of control. And also because I have shouted at my colleagues before for some petty issues, because things didn't go as expected. And when someone cuts in front of me while I'm driving in a traffic jam, I can also go crazy. So, am I able to manage my emotions? I think I can, but I am only at a +2. How about yourself? Spend some time thinking about it and chart yourself in that scale. Well, this simple exercise that you just did helps you to analyze your situation from an observer's viewpoint. Okay, many a times when we look at ourselves, it's very difficult to find fault. What we can see is just very nice, or sometimes what we can see is only fault, only negativity, there's no positivity. So it's very important that to look at ourselves. So usually people say you ask other people to tell you about you, but you can also look at yourself from a third person point of view, okay? That means you take yourself away from being yourself, you just observe, think about your situation and analyze it. So when you do that, you're actually looking at yourself from a third person point of view. And viewing yourself this way actually helps you to have a clearer picture of yourself. And sometimes when you do this, it actually uncovers some areas that you might have missed. Now, awareness is number one. Number two is positive psychology helps you to exercise self-compassion. So when I look at this example that I gave about my emotional management skill, I might be very hard on myself. I would think that I'm nothing. I cannot manage my emotions. I get angry very easily when things doesn't go as expected, and I have shouted to my colleagues before. What kind of colleague am I to be doing so, right? But positive psychology here helps you to discover and uncover self-compassion, to apply self-compassion towards yourself. So on a normal situation, we would think that when we cannot live up to expectations, we are weak. We are a failure when we fail to achieve our dreams. We are nobody compared to those whom we consider as successful. We are hopeless in the face of the many problems we have in our lives. We are a bad spouse, a bad parent, a bad teacher, a bad colleague, or a bad boss when others are unhappy because of us. Well, these thoughts are quite common, as we tend to find fault or blame ourselves or others when something wrong, especially when something wrong happens. When everything goes right, we don't do anything. It's like, okay, we just go with it. But when something is wrong, we lay blame, we don't take responsibility, and sometimes we are really harsh on ourselves. And the fact is, based on research, we are harsher when we evaluate ourselves as compared to when we evaluate others. Hence, it is crucial to allow yourself some space to understand your situation and be compassionate towards yourself so that you can begin to work on moving north of neutral. So positive psychology helps you to realize that you are not alone in whatever that you are facing, because it is also faced by others as well. Okay? My emotional management skill is at positive 2. There are other people also at positive 2 and also facing the same issues that I am facing. And positive psychology also have this phrase that we always use, which is permission to be human. Yeah, we are all humans, and it is common or normal to actually make mistakes, to actually be low when times are bad, to actually be depressed when things are really hard, and it's okay not to be okay. So compassion is what is important. First, we are aware that we are in this situation, and number 2 is to be compassionate towards ourselves. So in the example about the emotional management, again, positive psychology helps to explain how emotions are actually generated in our minds and how it is processed in the brain. And by learning, you will know why you can be so emotionally charged at times. And because of positive psychology, now I know why I can be so angry and out of control, because there's something happening in my brain, and I have learned some techniques to actually control what is in my brain when I am angry. So by knowing the processes behind the scenes in the brain, you and I, or even for myself right now, emotional management, I am on course to the third way positive psychology will work for us. All right? First, I'm aware of my situation, and I'm compassionate towards myself, and now is to take the third step. The third step is to implement self-care, to heal, to replenish, to bounce back, to grow, to develop, and be a better self. Positive psychology is not only about sharing the science, but also the practice part of it. So we learn about the theories, we learn about the concepts, we learn about what research says about the things that we are facing in our daily lives, but at the end of the day, we also will learn how to apply these concepts, these theories, this research into our daily lives. Wow, isn't it good? So you can expect to learn, throughout the series together with me, evidence-based interventions, meaning evidence-based methods and strategies that would help you to better manage the area that you are concerned with, that you put in your scale just now, and also many other areas that you have not put in the scale. So in the example of emotional management, okay, you can learn breathing techniques. And breathing is not just breathing like that, there is a correct way to breathe. And you can learn calming methods, and there are certain steps that we should follow that would help you to be very calm. And some emotional management tools, something that is really hard copy where you can really write on and really work through your emotions. So when we learn this in positive psychology, it helps me and helps us to manage our emotions more successfully. So look at this diagram. It is known as the flourishing cycle. So to flourish in life, positive psychology suggests this. First, we need to be self-aware. Then we need to practice self-compassion. And then with the methods and techniques that we learn, we can start to apply self-care. And with self-care, you can also use the techniques that you've learned to help others as well. Isn't this good? I hope so. You think so. So thank you and be blessed.